sharing a link for YouTube. So welcome to the first session on maths. We will be having one more session later this week on Thursday. So first up, so we have made this session open for everyone. Everyone in the sense for students, for teachers, for parents, also just for people who are interested in maths. So I expect that we will have a diverse set of audience. So for this reason, we will not be having like a regular maths class. This will not be a class where I will be teaching you something, telling you or informing you of some facts. So our aim for this session, because it's going to be an open session for a general audience, we will not assume any prerequisite knowledge. So our aim for today will just be to observe something, observe some number patterns, to discover something new in things which we have seen many times, then also to learn, and most importantly to have fun. So this is all our aim for this session. So in addition to that, because we are having many people, and I will not be able to interact with all of you personally. So because we are online, I will not be able to see you. So for that reason, we will have to have some ground rules so that everyone is able to participate fully. So we have this rights for every participant in all the sessions that we conduct, whether we have classes inside a normal classroom or we conduct open session, we give the participants some rights. So one right is the right to ask questions. So throughout this session, uh, if for some reason you're not able to follow or you have some question to ask, you can interrupt and ask question. But unfortunately, since we are having many participate at the same time, you will have to use the raise hand feature. You'll have to use the raise hand feature, which is available on YouTube, which is available on Zoom. So I'll come back to that in a minute. But before that, so it's okay for you to ask questions. In case you don't understand, you can always use the raise hand feature. I'll come to you in a minute. Also, it's okay to not know the answer. So our aim is not to teach you something, not to inform you, not to give you information. So that is not the aim of this session anyway. So it's okay if for some question you don't know the answer. Also, it's okay to give a different answer. So typically in a classroom, you might have a case where many of the students give the same answer. But it's okay if you have a different answer. You don't have to think about what others are getting. Whatever answer you get, it's okay. We may be able to discuss. So typically in a classroom, I will encourage all of the participants to give out their answers and we'll discuss it. But today, this will unfortunately have to be mostly a kind of one-way communication. I can see a lot of messages on chat, and I can see that many of you are already raising your hand. But yeah, so I will not be able to respond to all of you immediately. You will have to be a little patient. So because we are having many, we have these ground rules. That is, it is not okay to be disruptive. I would request all of you not to post unnecessary posts on the chat box. So post only what is relevant. Also, I would like each one of you to give your best. So today we will just be taking up a simple question. We will have a simple activity, and I just want to see all of you participate and to give your best. So specifically for this session, you will need to keep a pen and paper with you. We will be doing some calculations. So please get a pen and paper in case you already don't have. Also, as I mentioned earlier, turn off your video screen and screen share option. This is so that we don't have many people communicating at the same time. Also, it takes up a lot of bandwidth. Also, keep yourself in mute and use the raise hand feature, which is available on Zoom. I hope all of you are comfortable with Zoom and are familiar with this option. Feature in case you have some question. And yeah, because there are 100 of you, I cannot be responding to each one of your queries. So you'll have to be a little patient. I hope I'm able to answer most of your queries, or I'm able to interact with most of you. But because this is an online interaction, there is this limitation, and the number of participants is huge. So you'll have to be a little patient. So when I ask for your answer, I expect responses, but it will be difficult for me to go through each one of your answers. So you'll have to be patient. And always remember that we are in a classroom. So you have many other participants who are here to have a good experience. Always keep that in mind. So before I start with the session, I would like to ask a couple of questions from you. So this is just mostly to get an idea about the kind of audience that I'm addressing. So, so I will be launching two polls. I would like you to respond in those polls. One is I would like you to tell us which device you are accessing through, whether it's a mobile or it's a laptop or it's a desktop. If it's mobile, you will have some limitation on the screen size and the way you interact. So we just want to make sure that everyone is comfortable with the device. And another thing is, like, we would want you would like to know how many of your students participating for the first time, how many of your primary school students, how many of your high school students, and so on. So I am going to launch a poll right now. So I would like all of you to respond as soon as possible. I can see several chat messages, so maybe I will just go through them. So yeah, I would like to what kind of an audience I'm addressing. I guess many of the participants are middle school students, which is great. I can also see some primary school students. That's also nice. It's nice that you're able to come online for this session. And a few of you are parents and teachers. So yeah. So yeah, we will just have a few more seconds for this poll. Then we will move on to the session. I see that some of the participants have not voted. So this is just for us to have a clear idea about the audience. So those who have not answered the poll question, please do so quickly. I can see that Danyasri has raised a hand. So Danyasri, if you could just type your query in the chat box, it will be useful. So I was able to see that many of you had answered the question as to which device you are joining from on the chat box. But yeah, I was hoping to launch this poll. Yeah, I can see that all of you are responding to it instantly. So yeah, this is just to get an idea as to how much we can push the limitation of the device. So many of the features that are available on laptop or desktop is not available on the smartphone. So this is why we need this information. Okay, so Danyasri, I have seen your raised hand. So just send your query in the chat box. Okay, so now I think we are good to go. Okay, so now we will start with actual session. Uh, okay, so this is the activity for today. This is a question which probably I might have asked some of you in case you had joined for an earlier session, but let me explain the activity for everyone. So what you need to do is you need to take a two-digit number where the digits are different. So in this example, you can see that the digits are 2 and 9. I've taken the two-digit number 29 with two different digits. Then step 2, you need to reverse the digits to get 92. So you can take any two-digit number with different digits, then reverse the digits, and third step, subtract the smaller number from the larger number. So in this case, I had taken 29, where the units digit is the bigger one. You might take some other digit, some other number, say 31, where the tens digit is bigger. The reverse would be 13. You need to subtract the smaller number from the larger number and you will get some answer. If the answer is a two-digit number, if the difference is a two-digit number, you need to repeat the process once more. That is, reverse the digit, subtract the smaller from the larger. You have to keep doing it again and again until you get a single digit number. So uh, please do this on a piece of paper. I hope all of you have some notebook or a piece of paper with you. And whatever answer you get, send the answer in the chat box. So let me just repeat the instructions once again. You choose a two-digit number with the digits being different, reverse the digits, subtract the smaller number from the larger number. Whatever answer you get, you repeat the process. You again swap the digits and take the difference. Keep doing it again and again until you get a single digit number as the answer. And once you have that single digit number, you send me the answer. So it is possible that you may have come across this question before, uh, perhaps in one of the earlier online sessions. But we will start with this question. We still have a lot more questions, a lot more interesting questions to see. But anyway, so I will give a couple of minutes for everyone to work out. I can see that many of you have already responded in the chat, which is great. But let me just give a few more minutes for everyone to complete. Yes, I can see many interesting answers already. Okay. So from the chat, I can see that many of you have tried and all of you are getting nines. Uh, Pramath but has taken 66, but unfortunately you need to take numbers where the digits are different. So 66, no repetition is allowed. Take some other number where the digits are different and then see what answer you are getting. So whatever instructions you have on the screen, you just follow it. Okay. So I can see that many of you, in fact, all of you are getting the answer to be 9. So some of you have taken multiple numbers as well. So why do you think this happens? So many of you have gotten the answer to be 9. Okay. So this happens for like all the numbers you take. And in addition to that, I would like all of you to think about these two other questions which you can see on the screen. Is there a pattern in the differences after each step? And is there a pattern in the number of steps it takes to get the answer? So I think we are all in agreement that the answer is always 9 for all the numbers that you take. But is there some pattern in the differences in between? So in the first step, you'll get some difference, then you reverse the digits again, and then you take the difference, reverse the digits and take the difference and so on. So you will get some answers, some partial answer in between, which is the difference. Is there something common to all those differences? And also, is there some pattern on the number of steps it takes to reach the final answer? So I will give a couple of minutes for everyone to think about this. So first, write down the answers on the notebook, and then maybe we will discuss how we take it forward online. Okay, so I hope all of you are able to give some thought to this question. So I can see that some of you have raised your hand. So can you just ask your query in the chat box now? So those who have raised your hand, whatever it is that you want to share, you can maybe share it in the chat box. Okay, so I can see from Yeah. Okay. I'm getting a few more responses, so I'll just wait for just maybe 1 more minute, and then we will discuss it further. Okay. So I think now we're in a position to discuss this question. Okay. So the question that I asked was this. Okay. So from some of the responses, I could see that the answer for all of you, it just turned out to be 9. But then there are other interesting patterns also to observe. For example, so these are just some of the observations I noticed from the chat box. One, all the intermediate differences were multiples of 9. So many of you in chat had noticed this pattern, that the intermediate differences were multiples of 9. On top of that, some people noticed that consecutive digits give answer in one step. One other observation that I noticed was last step is always 54 minus 45, except for consecutive digits. So let me see how it works. So let us take some specific example and see what happens here. So let me take some number, for example, 51. The reverse would be 50. And if I took the difference, it would be 6, and here it would be 3. So now this has 2 digits. So I need to repeat this once more. So I will reverse the digits, 63 and 36, and I will take the difference once again. Here is 27. Again, let me just repeat this. So here the answer is 45. And if I were to take the difference, it's 9. Someone had made this interesting observation. Someone had taken, instead of a number like 51, someone had taken 90. For them, they get 81. And we could also repeat the process here. So it's 81 minus 18. So this should be 63. And once you get 63, it's 63 minus 36 again. So which will give 27, which will give 45, which will give 9. So uh, so now why should this difference always be a multiple of 9? Someone in chat had actually given the answer too, but we will come to that. So now let's take a specific example. Let's take the consecutive digits here. For example, let me just take 12. 21 minus 12 would give me 9 in one step. Suppose if I took 67, I would have to reverse the digits to get 76 minus 67, and it would give me 9. So why will this happen for consecutive digits, and will it happen all the time? Let me just pause here for a minute for you to think. I can see that many of you are already excited about the answer, but let me just pause anyway for others also to give a chance for others. Okay, so let me bring you to another observation. So I would like all of you to observe the number of steps it takes. To reach 9. So we took the example of 54, and it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. And we took an example of 21, and that gives the answer in just one step. So suppose I took, say for example, 64. How many steps would that take? And suppose if I were to take something like 17, how many steps would that take? So I will just give a minute for you to think about this question. Then maybe I will enable the chat feature and you can give the answer in chat. So some of you might have answers. So can you send me the answer in private mode just for me to see? I am Ashwin. I'll be appearing as host on the top of the list. So can you just send me the answer in private for everyone to think? How many steps does it take for 64 and how many steps does it take for 17? So I can see some of the answers. Yeah, some of you have already solved it, which is nice. But I'll just wait for others also. So the question is, every number, whether every number as long as the digits are different, if you do this activity, you end up with 9. Now the question is, how many steps does it take to reach 9? For 51, we can see that the first difference is 36. Then you need to repeat the process to get 27, then 45 and 9. So it takes 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 steps to reach the answer of 9. Now the question is, how many steps does it take to reach 9 for 64 and for 17? Okay. Okay. So, yeah, I could get answers from many of you. Unfortunately, I think some of you couldn't understand the question. Uh, yeah, so let me just repeat the question once more and I will discuss the answer immediately. So the question is this. We had this activity, you need to take a 2-digit number, reverse the digits, take the difference, keep repeating until you get 9. And what is the final answer you get? The final answer was 9. And how many steps does it take? Now let's try to make some observations here. So, um, okay. So let me see if there is some kind of a relation between the difference between the digits and the number of steps. So the difference between the digits in 51, for example, is 4 and it takes 4 steps. We can see that here, right? From 51, it's 36, then 27, 45, and 9. So 4 steps. But suppose we were to take 21, the difference is just 1 and it takes 1 step. So can we say difference between digits equal to number of steps to get 9? We have made 2 observations. It works for 51 and it works for 21 as well. So from this, can we generalize that the difference between these 2 digits will be the number of steps it takes to get 9? Let's just check now. So let me try for 64. So 64, let me reverse the digits to get 46 and the difference is 18. Now once I 18, the difference is 81 minus 18, so 63. Once I get 63 and so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. Let me just check once. Yeah. So 64 takes 5 steps. How about 17? Some of you had said 6 steps. So let me just check once. So if we take the difference, it's 11, so 4, and it should be 5. And this should be, so for 17, it's actually 2 steps. So how about this question, which we started with? Can we say the difference is equal to the number of steps? The answer is no. So this is something that is very important in science and maths. This is a principle that all scientists are aware. That is, when we try a few examples, in this case, it was a math problem. Maybe for science, it could be an observation that the sun is always appearing bigger than the moon, for example. Or it could be an observation that frogs are always appearing at night time. So from these observations, we cannot conclude that sun is always smaller than the moon, or frogs will only come out during night. So the point I'm trying to make is, from a few examples, we cannot conclude anything. So from these two examples, it looked like the number of steps to get 9 will be equal to the difference, but that is not true. So we were able to get 2 counter examples. So is there any other observation that we can make? So here, what can we say about the difference between the digits and the first difference? Is there some connection between the difference between the digits you start with and the first difference? The first difference is the number that you get in the first step. So here, for example, it's 36. Here, for example, it's 81. And in the other examples we have seen here, 18 and 54. So the question I would like you all to think about is there some connection between the difference between the digits and the first difference, which can also be written as difference in the first step? So many of you had actually made the observation earlier itself in the chat box. But I'm waiting for some of the students to think about this question, to make their own observation. And then after a few minutes, I will answer this question also. So the question is there a connection between the difference of the digits that you start with and the difference in the first step? So can you all send your answer in the chat box in private mode to me? Okay, so let me just share the question in case someone has joined just now. The activity for all of you is to choose a 2-digit number, reverse the digits, subtract the smaller from the larger number, and Repeat the process until you get a single digit answer. Okay, so I have, yes, I am able to see a few interesting responses. Okay, so I have just shared screen which shows the activity those who just joined. Uh, in a minute, I will come back to the question and we will discuss that. Yeah, it's nice to see that many of you are responding here. Yeah, for those who are finding it difficult, it's okay. It's okay if you don't understand the question or if you don't get the answer. That's fine. Because we are doing it for a wide variety of audience, it will be difficult for all of us to understand everything. So it's okay if you're not able to get any answer or if you don't see any pattern, that's okay. You don't have to worry about it. So we are looking for some pattern in the differences after each step, and we are looking for a pattern in the number of steps. Okay, so I can see some interesting responses in chat. Okay, so I was able to get a few responses. I will discuss some of them and then we will carry it forward from there. Okay. So I got a few interesting observations here. So let me just write down some of the observations that I got. We will see how much. One observation that I got was lesser number takes more steps. Let's just list some of the observations here. Then maybe we will go through all of them one by one. Another observation that I got was numbers ending with 1 take 4 steps. Another observation that I got was the first difference is a multiple of difference between the digits. So let me just take this observation first and yeah, let's see if this is true, whether lesser number takes more steps. So how do I check for that? I will take a big number, 98, and when I do this process I will get the answer in one step. Now let me take a smaller number, like say 23. Then if I take 32 minus 23, it's again one step. Now let me take another example which I had taken earlier. For example, uh, 54 takes 4 steps. So if you have two numbers with the left one bigger than the other, can we say that this will take more steps? No. We can see that you have 98 greater than 51, but this takes 1 step. This takes 4 steps. And again, you have 23 less than 51. This takes 1 step and this takes 4 steps. So this observation that someone had made, this is not true. But still, the important thing for us is not to make new discoveries. It's something that's already been there. We're just looking at it in a new way. So even if this observation is not true, I still find it interesting. So now let me take the other observation, that the difference, first difference is a multiple of the difference between digits. So let's see what's happening here. In the case of 51, the difference between digits and the first difference. The difference between the digits is 4 and the first difference is 36. How about for the case of 64? The difference between the digits is 2 and the first difference is 18. So how about 98? The difference is 1 and the first difference is 9. So is there some connection between these numbers? Is there some connection between these numbers? For example, 17, which we had seen, the first difference is 54. The difference between the digits is 6 and the first difference is 64. So what is the connection? Someone had pointed out that it's a multiple, and it's not just any multiple, but it's a multiple of 9. So this observation that someone had made, that the first difference is always a multiple of the difference between the digits, this is a correct one. So the numbers between numbers ending with 1 taking 4 steps, I would like all of you to think about that. For example, suppose instead of 17, for which I get 54 and 9, suppose I took 71, what will I get? I'll get 71 minus 17, which will be 54, and 54 minus 45 will give me 9. So these two numbers will have same differences. So here, not only will 64 take 5 steps, even 46 will take the same 5 steps. Even 12 or 15, they will all take the same steps. Basically, reversing the digits will not make a difference. So this is another observation that we can make. So, in today's class so far, we have just taken one activity. We have just taken a 2-digit number where the digits are different, and we were trying to find the difference, and we saw what all observations that we can make. The interesting observations we have made are here. We were able to make these observations. So someone in chat box had actually pointed out why this was the case. So, so this is something which is okay for advanced learners who are okay with algebra. So I see that many of you are middle school students, and there are some primary school students also. So if you don't understand this, it's fine. We will be studying this in higher classes. But for others who are high school students, who are teachers, and some of the parents who are joining, I just want to make this observation, which someone had actually pointed out in the chat. That is, what is happening here is when you take a number like xy, the first digit x and second digit y, what this actually means is the number is 10x y. For example, 57 is 7. And when you're reversing the digits, this turns out to be 10y plus x. So when you take 10x plus y, and when you subtract with 10y plus x, what you will get here is 9x minus 9y, which would be 9 into x minus y. So this makes the difference always a multiple of 9, and this also makes all the intermediate differences a multiple of 9, as well as the first difference, 9 into difference between the digits. So this was something interesting which I wanted to share with all of you. So I hope all of you were able to go through this activity, and I hope you enjoyed it. But now I still have something else to show you. So the activity that we did was to choose a 2-digit number, reverse the digits, and subtract the smallest from the larger. Now we're able to see patterns here, differences of step and the differences subsequently, and also the number of steps it takes. So we found that the number of steps is not dependent on the size of the number. Bigger number or smaller number can give smaller or bigger, it doesn't matter. Also, we cannot predict the number of steps it takes to get to 9. So this is the other activity that I have for all of you. I would like all of you to choose 3-digit number. Someone in chat actually wanted to do it earlier, to have this activity for 3-digit numbers. So let me just explain this question. Let me just explain this activity for all of you. You need to choose a 3-digit number where all the digits are different. For example, here you can see that the digits are 8 to 5. You can choose any 3 digits. Make the largest 3-digit number you can. So here the largest 3-digit number you can make is 852, and make the smallest 3-digit number with the same digits, with 8, 2 and 5. The smallest 2-digit number will be 2, 5 and 8. Now take the difference between these two, this larger number and this smaller number. Find the difference between these two numbers and keep repeating the steps until you get a single digit number or a 2-digit number as an answer. So the activity is the same. You need to start with a 3-digit number where the digits are all different. Make the largest 3-digit number using those digits. and make the smallest three-digit number the digits and take the difference. And keep repeating this until you find some pattern. So the question is the same. What is the answer you get in the end? And is there a pattern in the differences in each step? And is there a pattern in the number of steps? So I will give you 2 minutes for you to think about this, and then we will be concluding the session. So, yeah, some of you have raised hand. You can maybe chat, you can maybe add your query in the chat box. So those who are raising hand can just add something, add what you want to say in the chat box. Okay, so someone has asked for the question again. This is the question. I can see that some of you have already a lot of things, which is interesting. Because we are short on time, I will not be able to take it further right now. But do keep working on this question. That you will be surprised to find how many different patterns are there to observe. Maybe we will meet again for the next session on Thursday. So we have our session on YouTube. Right now it is live streaming. You will be able to watch it again later also. In addition, we have a Facebook group. We will be sharing the link. I think we already have shared the link in the WhatsApp group. You can maybe add your observations or answers and comments in that group on the Facebook page. So for now, I will be for now, I will be stopping this session. I think Pankaj has something to share. So Pankaj, I'm going to hand over to you.
Yeah, so I'm just sharing one link in the chat box and also in YouTube. So just a request to all the participants, if you can share your feedback in the link, this will be very helpful for us when we are planning the future sessions. So one request for the feedback, and I hope all of you are there on the WhatsApp group so for the regular updates. And like Ashwin just mentioned, Thursday again at the same time, 4 o'clock, we will be having the second open session of math from 4 to 5. So yeah, Ashwin, any other things?
Yeah. So I have shared the activity for all of you. You will be able to view it again on YouTube later as well. So it is almost 5 o'clock, and I think it's time for us to wind up. So it was nice to see many participants turn up for this session. I hope you enjoyed it as well. So today we took this activity of taking a two-digit number, reversing the digits, and taking the difference and doing it again and again until we found a pattern. So many of you had made like very interesting observations, but unfortunately, due to lack of time, I couldn't go through all of them. But surely keep making more observations, and we'll be happy to see your observations and answers, and also your feedback for this session on our YouTube channel as well as on Facebook page. So that's it for today. I will see you again on Thursday.
Shravan just now has shared one link of the Facebook group that we have, Explore at Home Open. Whatever interesting observations or explorations you come around, we have just shared the link of the Facebook group also. You can join this Facebook group if you want to participate in any of the existing discussion, or if you want to start your own discussion. Please join this Facebook group and start your own discussion, or get involved in many of the existing discussion. There are several interesting discussions going on around different topics. So that is also one another thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we will stop here for today. Yeah.
And one more thing, I guess there are some more teachers joining us today, and we will be having a teacher session sometime soon. We will be informing you in the groups. We will be having a separate teacher session for the maths teachers only this time. Last time we had a session for science teachers. We will let you know about that session very soon. We will update you when are we exactly having the time and date. So because there are a couple of teachers who are replying, they want to discuss how to teach maths with these puzzles and all. So we will be having a separate session for the teachers.
Yeah. So as Pankaj had mentioned, we will again interact with the teachers separately. So this was an open session for students and the teachers together. We hope to meet students, interested students, also the interested teachers. We will probably have a separate session for them. We will reach out to you through WhatsApp group. So that's it for today. Then I'll see you on Thursday again. So bye.
Yeah, please fill the feedback form before leaving. Please fill the feedback form. Yeah, before you leave, please fill this feedback form which is there in the chat box. Ashwin, can you make me the host?